All right, that's a second attempt at recording this one. So I'm playing against this person. It's been a real bad couple of weeks, by the way. Playing against this person online. They're also a Lantern player, but I met them playing. They played Mill against me. So this is actually not a great hand against Mill, but it's got double bridge, and I was going blind. So, eh. And as soon as they do that, I realized what they're probably playing. Hmm. Yeah. So start milling my opponent. Now here, I'll wait until it happens. So I mill my opponent. I could use Bobble to try to set up my draw with Shredder, but what I'm afraid of is that my opponent will mill my top card if I keep it. Or if I keep it, then my opponent will mill the top card, and if I mill it, then it's more likely they're going to mill something that I want. So what I do is I look at my top card instead, and I decide that I don't want it, and I'm hoping to lure my opponent into milling my top card. So I leave it there, hoping that they decide to mill, and they don't. So, and we talk about that right here. So go ahead and play it out. What I'm looking for here is still I want to mill at the end of my turn, on my opponent's turn. I don't have to play the bridges yet. And I'm hoping that if they mill a lantern or a whir or so they mill a lantern, I'm hoping that if they mill a whir or a ruins, I can sack Shredder once I get the 5 mana and get it back. And then I should be okay. Or if I get whir into the graveyard, I can sack Shredder, get whir, then whir for Witchbane Orb. Yep. So this time I do go ahead and decide to mill myself. And now I've got the 5 mana. I still don't have a whir yet, though. So opponent goes and mills me, and there's a whir. So, or if they mill Witchbane Orb, then I can use Shredder to get that back. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get whir. And now I'm just waiting for my opponent to try to target me with mill. That way, I mean, I could try to do it now, but if they do have some sort of counters, then I'm screwed. So I would rather they use their mana to target me with mill, and then in response, while they're got some mana tapped, I can whir for Witchbane and be okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, got plenty to whir. Yep, just playing along. So now because they did it, decide it's time and get the orb. And opponent concedes. So game 2, let's see. That's game 3, here's game 2. Game 2, I side in my ley lines, and I keep an opener with Witchbane. I keep the bridges in because a lot of times post-board, mill will bring in creatures. Unfortunately, the opponent does have a natural disenchant. Turns out they got 5 artifact enchantment removal cards in the deck, plus Snapcasters. So it's pretty good. Yep, that's poopy. So now I'm getting milled pretty good here. I go ahead and sack my bauble to try to draw into something. Go ahead and play a bridge. It's probably better to decay the crab. So I want to Thoughtseize to make sure that I can make my Witchbane Orb land and stick. Yeah, So since they targeted disenchant, that's going to make it so that I can grab the Echoing Truth and I'll be okay. And since they targeted disenchant, I'll go ahead and play the second bridge, and that way I don't get beat down by Snapcasters, hopefully. Unfortunately, they draw right into another disenchant. And they disenchant my other bridge. And I don't have the fourth mana because it comes into play tapped for my Witchbane Orb. So that's going to have to come next turn. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Because they have just enough now to start drawing 3 cards apiece off of Visions. And that's going to draw them into all sorts of gas. So now they draw another artifact destruction spell. And this is not going well. Now, fortunately, they don't know about the Witchbane Orb in my hand yet, so they're still using the artifact destruction on the Lantern. And I'm thinking about doing a shuffle here. Yeah, go ahead and make them shuffle away that Pithing Needle. Yep. And then they draw top deck a Snapcaster. So now they can, was that Fragmentize? It's like, what the crap? Yeah. And now I'm pretty much going to die here. I'm hoping to get the mana. Let's see, I only have one ley line left in the library. All my lanterns are gone. I'm basically relying off of a ley line here. Or if I can get a, well, I can't even get my ruins back because they needled Shredder. So I have to top deck a bridge and another Glimmer Void and a ley line to survive. And that's not going to happen. They get the last 15 or 13 there. So game 3, man, that was some crazy top decks, but it happens. So game 3, I do slide in the Rolling Jars because of all that artifact and destruction and whatnot. But it looks like a decent hand otherwise, and I have Academy Ruins in my opener. And turn 1 lock. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I go ahead and shred myself to try to get into another Mill Rock. And I'm figuring that they probably don't have Ghost Quarter since they're playing 3 colors. And I didn't see any in the other games. So I figure if they mill me, I can start using Ruins to put stuff back on top. Yep. So I can try to get a Lantern back to try to control their top decks. And each time I use Ruins, it does buy me at least like, oh, here, there. Yeah, I'm trying to stop my opponent from drawing that needle, so I Lantern, and they go to draw it in response, so I have to Lantern in response. And I put Lantern back on top. Yep. Crap balls, man. Now, fortunately, there is a Pixis there. So I'm kind of hoping maybe I can play Pixis and build up to 7 mana and put, exile something and put it into play with Pixis. Yeah. So I got Witchbane, so that's good stuff. And they don't have Artifact Destruction yet. Now, here's, I think I mess up, because now this is going to put 20 cards into my graveyard. I should have known that they didn't have something to, yeah, I should have waited, I think. because this is going to make it so that they can start drawing with Visions of Beyond. And I even see a Visions of Beyond on top, so I think I make a mistake here in doing this. Yeah, so now they can Visions with Snapcaster. Yeah. So this is a bad day now. And since they got Snapcaster, they're just digging for things to flash back. No, I will be able to play the ley line here. But they were able to get a surgical, a disenchant, and then echoing truth in hand. Yeah. In hindsight, it might have been better when they played Visions that on the stack I put a card on top so that Visions only draws one card. So that's another misplay I think I make there. Because then that would have made it so Visions only draws a card. And they end up drawing 2 artifact destruction spells. Like, son of a... And I could have paid 3 for the bridge, but I wanted to make sure I had enough open from ruins. Yep. So I think those 2 misplays cost me pretty good there. Just turning on Visions of Beyond. Yeah, they said 3, but I was like, wait, you got 2 dudes there. Yep. And I'm just kind of relying that I hit the lands and these don't kill me. Gonna put it on top. Snapcaster Surgical. Yeah. And then they mill me out with the fetches. So yeah, a couple of misplays there, and both of them involve putting the 20th card into my graveyard, or leaving the 20th card in my graveyard for Visions of Beyond. So if I had not done that, maybe I could have won this game 3. So things to watch out for.